What's up, guys? It's Manga Time once again. I'm here today to bring you my review of Bleach 591, Marching Out the Zombies 2. I know I said I'm going to be at graduation, so the video would be tomorrow, but I think I've got time to slip in a review now. So, let's go. Bleach got lead colour this week. We haven't had lead colour since it came back from the 7-week break. I think that was the last time we had it. So we get the cover as well. And I have to say, this is one of Kubo's best Shonen Jump covers he's ever done. I think it's really nice. It's actually really pretty. It's basically just kind of Ichigo with his new gear. Cool to see that in colour. A lot of people theorising his shoulder pad was going to be red. It's actually black. I think it looks better black. But in the background, there's like a really funky, just kind of rendition of all the different squad emblems. And it looks really nice, actually. It does it really cool. And it just says 13 divisions celebrating 13 years. So that's pretty cool. I know quite a few people think the manga is going to end its 15th year, and that's a possibility. Anyway, we then get a proper colour page, and actually, it's a colour page that I think hasn't been wasted for once. There is quite a lot of white, but you're drawing Arrancars, so it's a good colour page. You've got the faces of each Arrancar, and then basically Ikaku and Yumichika are just like, what? So I think the Arrancars all look pretty much the same, apart from their obvious kind of zombie kind of scars. The only one who I think's kind of changed a little bit through Kubo's kind of art style change is Luppy. He looks a bit different now. I don't really know why. But then we get this really awesome colour page, which is a double page spread, and it says, Bleach, after going through many battles, the last fight for the 13 captains. Obviously, this is the final charge now, pretty much. Interesting, the manga stream version says something completely different. It says something like 13 warriors entering a battle of demise or something like that. I can't remember. I haven't got it up on the screen. But that's quite foreboding. But we know what manga stream are like with their translations, so I don't know if I can trust that completely. But if it does say a fight of demise, that's kind of worrying, really. So basically, the picture is this really awesome kind of it's Ichigo like that with his sword. He looks awesome. Orihime, Chad, Rukia, Renji, Byakuya, Kenpachi, Soifon, Shinsui, Ikaku, Yumichika, and Hisagi. And then there's one last person. Excuse me while I lean in because I just cannot make them out. I'm pretty sure it's Iba. He seems like a weird choice to put on this colour page. But yeah, it's really cool. They look kind of like a line of defense almost. Vandermeek is pink, which is very weird because the last time Kubo drew it was green. So I don't know what he's doing there really. But something else that is quite interesting is that, unless my maths is completely failing me. No, it's not failing me. There's 13 people on this picture. Now, I had some super crack theory the moment I saw this, that this was foreshadowing the next set of Gotei captains. Now, I know immediately you're like, Orihime and Chad are on here. So, that kind of blows it out of the water a little bit, unless Soul Society changes so much because of this battle that they let, like, humans with random powers in. But I just kind of thought that was interesting. And, I mean, it's even like Chad looks like he's wearing kind of a Mayuri now. But, I just thought that was an interesting kind of little thing. I mean, like, why have Soif on there? She's out for the count. That's a really odd kind of thing. And you might wonder why Hitsugaya is not there, but frankly, this chapter could possibly hold the answer. Anyway, Ikaku remembers that he fought Luppy once, and Yumichika remembers that he killed Charlotte Coolhorn once. You get this really funny moment where Charlotte Coolhorn's like, you ugly person, and he tries to remember Yumichika's name. He's like, Yumichi, and he forgets it. I'm not sure if he does forget it or if he's just taking the piss, but I don't remember Charlotte Coolhorn being this funny. But yeah, he really annoys Yumichika, and Yumichika's like, I'll kill you again. But then Dordoni kind of breaks in, and he's like, this isn't what I was told. I was going to find Nino. I was going to find Ichigo, basically. And Saruchi wanted to find Uryu. Yeah, because she'll have a fun time doing that now. But Luffy basically steps in, and he's like, you're annoying, shut up. And then Mayuri just kind of electrocutes all of them with that great deadpan Mayuri expression. He's like not even looking at them, he's just like electrocutes the lot of them. I love Mayuri. He's my second favourite captain. But anyway, yeah, they all flip out, and there's just a couple of pages of random kind of banter, like reintroducing the Arrancars, basically. Then Mayuri says something very, very interesting. And it's actually strangely throwaway. But basically he says, I'm glad you came out more robust than I thought you would. it makes it worthwhile that I stole you from Zale Aporo's laboratory. So yes, as we basically have predicted for so long, in fact, I'm going to say I called it, because I've said it all along, the bodies were Dordoni and Sarucci. Granted, I didn't think Luppy was going to be in there, but those bodies were Dordoni and Sarucci. I think some people are going to be disappointed by this, because those bodies hanging in the laboratory have been one of the biggest kind of just stories that we've been like, what is going on here? What does this have to do with anything? And it just looks like Mayuri's going to bring them back to fight. But you know, it's great that question's been answered after all this time. And then, in my opinion, probably the funniest bit of the chapter comes up. Charlotte Coolhorn's like, I'm different, basically because Mayuri found him in fake Karakura Town. Mayuri then zaps him, and it doesn't actually seem to hurt him, he's just now doing a different pose. I think it's quite funny. Anyway, Giselle steps up, and she's like, so they're zombies, so what? And she's like, I have an army, essentially. And then Mayuri's like, she thinks you can't beat her, what do you say to that? And they all kind of rage out, and Luppy's like, we won't lose to Shinigami. Yeah, okay. Anyway, they all kind of charge in, and I have to say, this chapter's artwork is fantastic. It's really good. There are a lot of really busy panels, lots of really cool poses, lots of awesome fight choreography this week. But then basically, Yumichika's like, don't fight them, they're members of the 11th Division, and Mayuri gives them a bit of an interesting pep talk. He's like, it's weird that the 11th Division would say something like that, because they're usually so gung-ho, but it's also weird for the Goten 13 to want to save these kind of soldiers, because soldiers are supposed to protect the Seirei, and they're supposed to kill the ones who go against it. And basically Mayuri's like, those are the words of your ex-Captain Commander. And although it's hard to read him because it's Mayuri and he's a very kind of complex and difficult character to understand on a face level, I think it's respect for the way Yamamoto used to do things that he's saying here. But anyway, Dordoni is fighting a couple of the random Shinigami, and he tries to dodge their blood because he's afraid of becoming one of Giselle's zombies. But Luppy kind of steps in and he's like, I don't think you need to do that. And he picks up on something that I've picked up on, which I thought was very interesting in a reread, and it's that when Ikaku stabs Bambietta in the face, he got a bit of blood in his cheek. And Kubo made a big thing of that, and I was thinking maybe he's going to become a zombie later and it's going to be a delayed reaction. But Luppy apparently says that, that bald guy was hit and he hasn't turned into a zombie, so I think basically what's getting across is it has to be Giselle's blood that turns you into a zombie. It can't be anyone. It can't be like one of her minions. So anyway, they all kind of start their fights, and Saruchi's got that cool kind of disc weapon that she has, but yeah, she basically cuts people up, and they all start fighting. Basically, we cut back to Giselle, and she's like, "Oh my, such chaos!" And I think she gives Bambietta back her arm, and that regenerates her essentially. Because if you remember, Bambietta got it cut off by Yumichika. And then Charlotte Coolhorn arrives, and he basically says, my instinct's telling me to fight you because you resemble me a lot. Obviously implying the fact that Charlotte Coolhorn is quite androgynous, and that, we're supposed to believe that Giselle's a man, but I'm actually kind of going off that theory a bit, because she kind of, every time someone says that, she rages out. Now, possibly that's because she is a guy, but she wants to be acknowledged as a girl, and therefore she hates when people think that she's a guy. Or that she is a girl, and she wants to be a girl, and she hates the fact these people keep calling her guys. It's really kind of mixed, and it's almost like Kubo doesn't want to fully go there, but who knows. Anyway, either Coolhorn is considerably stronger than he was in the fake Karakura Town arc, or Bambietta is now weaker. I think it's probably Bambietta's weaker, because I actually think Coolhorn was always quite powerful. He absolutely decimated Yumichika. The only reason Yumichika won was because of his really hack Shikai. But, yeah, basically Coolhorn grabs Bambietta by the face and chucks her into a building. It's quite funny because he just narrowly misses Mayuri, and Mayuri's like, too bad that didn't hit me. So there's actually some really nice banter going back and forth between the Shinigami and the Arrancars, and, it's really cool seeing the Arrancars fighting alongside the Shinigami. Since the battle with Kurge in Huecamundo, I've really been wanting to see this in full, and this is kind of what we're getting now. But anyway, Bambietta jumps out, and Coolhorn obliterates her with Sero. I don't know if she's actually dead, but she looks like she's down for the count at least. But basically, Giselle's like, Bambietta's not strong enough to beat you, so you can come out now, Captain. And on the next page, dun dun dun, it's zombified Hitsugaya. Let me say that again, zombified Hitsugaya. And Mayuri he's like, yeah, this is bad. And that's the end of the chapter. What? Okay, now there's a couple of very interesting things we can make about this. First off, this is the coolest Hitsugaya has ever looked in the manga. I am no fan of his, but the Vandenreich uniform just makes everyone look badass. It works on Uryu and it works on Hitsugaya. I think it's hilarious that Giselle dressed Hitsugaya up when he was unconscious and turned him into a zombie. There's a couple of questions we have to ask though. But I think first of all we should address how he became this way. Now, if you remember, just after he defeated Kang-Do, he fell unconscious, and then we saw a shadow approaching him. And a lot of people figured that might have been Ishin coming to help him out. No, apparently it was Giselle, and she zombified him. Which does make sense, because almost directly after that was Bambietta wondering where her friends had gone, so Giselle had gone to find Hitsugaya's body. Also makes you wonder who else she might have, who was, knocked out. I definitely think she could get the bodies of Kang-Do and BG9 if they're actually dead. And I wouldn't be surprised if she had, like, Jerome and Berenice from the first invasion under her control. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting that she dressed him up, probably for the psychological effect of seeing him properly under the Vandenreich's control. Now, there's a couple of questions we need to ask. One, is he dead? Is he completely dead? Now, we know Bambietta's dead, but they share a similarity that her other zombies don't. They both have the toned skin. Now, what does that mean? I think it means that these toned zombies will come back to life when Giselle is dead. I think Bambietta will come back when Giselle is dead. I think Toshiro... There's no way Toshiro will die. He just won't. He just won't. If he does, then that's awesome. Even if it isn't extremely, like, kind of just... He essentially got off-screened, and he's, like, one of the most popular characters in the series. I don't think he's the most popular anymore, but yeah, he's one of the most popular, and just to be off-screen would be hilarious. But, yeah. Is he dead? Probably not, but we'll see. What I also want to know is, if he isn't dead, why the hell isn't he dead? Because Giselle had him at his most vulnerable. He was out cold, and there was no one else around. If she didn't kill him, why not? She's going to turn him into a zombie anyway. What I could buy is because Bambietta's dead. I could buy her killing Toshiro, turning him into a fully fledged zombie, and then him coming back to life after she's killed. After Giselle's killed. I could definitely envision that happening. Regardless, this is pretty massive, though. If Toshiro is actually dead, then that's crazy. Now, Toshiro is probably going to defeat the Arrancars, because he's a captain, and frankly, none of them are really good enough to fight him. Even though it does seem like the zombified people are kind of weaker, but it'll be, yeah. It'd be very interesting to see. I definitely see the arrival of someone like Stark coming in to, counter Toshiro. But for the most part, that's kind of all I have to say really on that matter. It was a very interesting chapter cliffhanger. It's going to be very interesting where it goes next week. But that's kind of it for this week, guys. I'm going to drop a 9 on this week's chapter. I thought the choreography was fantastic. The artwork was excellent. There was lots of busy panels with lots of characters in them. Great choreography. Beautiful colour pages at the beginning. Actually not wasted for once. And just a crazy cliffhanger. So it gets a 9 out of 10 from me. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of this chapter. What do you think of Hitsugaya's fate? What do you think of the colour pages? And how do you think of these Arrancars' reintroduction into the story? Let me know all of that in the comments below. Other than that, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my videos. But I'll catch you next week. Until then, see ya.